Hey everyone, Shane recently messaged me about shooting a video on drug addiction. We wanted to have an open conversation about how drug addiction has affected his life. If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction, I hope you can find some comfort, some answers, and just to know that you're not alone. I will also leave resources, some websites in the description, and I hope that you enjoy this video. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Shane Olson and I'm an addict.
How long have you been clean for?
3 weeks.
How old were you when you first started using drugs, and how were you introduced to them?
I was 19 when I first did cocaine, and it was just a random party with friends, and my friends were all doing it, and I was just going through a hard time, so I decided, like, why not give it a shot and just try it, and right from there it was like instantly hooked.
What is your drug or drugs of choice?
Well, I cycled through a lot of different drugs of choice. At 19 it was cocaine and MDMA. Around 20 to 21 it turned into oxys and crack, and then moved from 22 it went right to heroin and meth. Yeah, so.
What happened the first time you overdosed?
I was clean off of heroin at this time for, I think this was for 2 years I was clean, yeah. And I was up doing a bunch of coke, and I had a baseball game at 10 in the morning. And so it was like 6 in the morning, and I was like, okay, I need to come down, and I was all wired. And I remembered a number that I could call to pick up. And I got my buddy to do it for me, and he refused the first time, but I manipulated him into it because he's clean now. And then I remember sitting in his room and I took my first toot, and then I closed my eyes and I could hear him say, "Are you okay, Shane?" And then that's all I remember. And he said I was out for 10 minutes. I had no pulse. My skin was already completely white and no heartbeat. Thankfully, he had an naloxone kit that he didn't know how to use though, so it didn't really work, so he started giving me CPR. Thankfully, he knew first aid, so, and he said after 10 minutes, and he said his mom came into the room because she heard a thud because I dropped, and she tried to stop him from giving me CPR because she thought I was completely gone. And then I came to, and the paramedics just walked in, and I was totally aware of what happened. Like
you woke up already?
Yeah, like I woke up and I knew I just overdosed, and like at that time I didn't care. Like I was not afraid. All I was focused about was getting to baseball, and I even said to the paramedics, I can't go to the hospital, I have a game soon.
From then, did you continue to use drugs, like
Yeah.
right away?
Yeah, basically like that next day. I would be completely bawling my eyes out, crying about that. I should be dead, but I'm still using, and I don't want to, right? But I just had no choice. Like,
when did you reach out for help, or did somebody come to you?
I was at a camp job and I was going through withdrawals, and I didn't go to work for the first 2 days. And my general manager called me and was like, "What's going on?" So that's when I broke down. And I called my mom and said, like, I'm addicted to heroin and I really need help and I need to get out of here.
What surprised you the most about?
The statistics of addiction, like my one counselor said, out of 10 of us, he said that 2 of you are gonna stay clean and 2 of you are gonna die and the rest are gonna relapse and come back. Yeah, so that really opened my eyes up.
Who have you let down the most, and why?
There's a lot of people I've let down. Shoot, it's a hard one. Definitely one from way back in the day is definitely Sam Hampton. He was definitely the biggest one I let down, and ever since that, our friendship has never really been the same, and it's like something I've always regretted.
Describe your thought process from being clean to relapsing. So
My main problem was always girls.
Yeah.
That was my biggest problem, was just always like getting my heart broken, and the only thing that helped ease my itself was drugs, so.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, I honestly don't know, just hopefully still alive, you know? Like, I've already overdosed once, and that was pretty rough.
Has addiction affected your friendships?
Yeah, definitely lost a lot of friends, lost a lot of trust in a lot of people too.
Who has been the biggest support in your life?
Definitely my parents and my brother, his wife, and my nephew for sure. And then for my friends wise is one of my best friends, Dalton Karlstrom. He's done everything he can to help me. Like, he's taken me into his house, he's talked to my parents, he's always been there for my family, and he will always be there for me no matter what, and I know that. As well, my boss, Corey Dorn, me and him have been in fights, and like me using, I wouldn't show up for days for work, or I'd lose it on him just because I was high, and he'd call me out and I didn't like it, and I'd call him a piece of shit, but he always brought me back and he always kept me working. And then his 2 kids as well, Landon and Caden, and their whole family have been a big support for me too.
The biggest thing you regret doing while being high?
I manipulated a lot of people to get money out of them for sure, and definitely my parents, I would manipulate them. And I could easily get money out of my dad, because he was the one my dad is the type of father, he can't say no to me. And I'm his baby boy, so.
Have you lost friends from addiction?
Yes, like going to rehab, they say is to be very careful who you become friends with, because you're gonna lose them. And so I lost a lot of good friends that I met in rehab, and also friends I became friends with outside of rehab too. I think just this year I've lost 4 friends. Yeah.
Did your family think that they were gonna lose you?
Just recently, yeah. I was just talking to my dad about this just today too. And it was, I think, maybe not even a month ago. I was watching my buddy's house, and I had baseball again the next morning at 8:30, and I was up all night, and I slept through my alarms, and my dad went to the ball field to like watch me play, and everybody's like, Shane's not here, Shane's not here. And my dad, he told me instantly, he thought I was dead right there. And he called my mom, and my dad said it was the hardest drive of his life. Him and my mom were holding each other's hands, and like, my parents are separated. And yeah, and my dad was saying to my mom, he's like, this is it. He's like, we have to accept it. And they were expecting to find my body dead. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people struggling with addiction?
Just not to be afraid to reach out for help. You know, everybody's so supportive, and that was my biggest problem. I was too afraid to actually ask for help, and I still struggle with it. I don't like to get people to revolve their lives around me. I don't think I'm any more special than anybody else, so it shouldn't really be a big deal, but addiction should be dealt with a lot. So.
What makes you the happiest?
Oh, just snowboarding, just getting out, being active, and just being around a lot of people, a lot of good friends and stuff.
Do you believe you can beat this?
Yes, I do. There's days where I honestly don't think I can, but I just try to put those like thoughts behind, and I just try to power through, and always just remember that tomorrow's a new day.
Just as Shane got home, he messaged me saying he forgot to say something. He just wanted to add that every time he's been out and seen people that he doesn't usually talk to every day or see all the time, he says when they wish him the best and when they tell him that they can call them whenever, he says those kind of comments really impact him, and he's thankful for that. Thanks everyone for watching the video, and thank you to Shane for being open and honest and not being scared. I really appreciate your honesty, and I'm glad we could come together to shoot this.